Hello. Hello, baby. Hello. Antanil Tulian Mildanine, and thank you once again for joining me. My name is Lord Aramil, joined by Miu. Yes, Mr. Good Girl. And today, I'll just be chatting a bit about some of the sessions that I've been in over the past week. I figured this is, as good a topic as any, and really it's the biggest social interactions that I've had over the last, my D&D is basically my social interaction, other than, Minecraft, so, yeah, might as well talk about that, right? It's fun. Yes. And you is here, keeping my lap warm and being all cuddly. This is good. This is good, isn't it? Yeah? Oh, she's curling up. She's curling up, and everything is good. So, as you may have noticed, I do have a title for today, The Tortoise and the Hare, and it's actually hilarious that that came about because when I was thinking about this episode, I knew what kind of stories I wanted to talk about, but it wasn't until I thought about them all, not in order, but all together, that I came up with that name. And it'll be funny when I get to it. So, my Monday campaign. So, the characters, again, they're kind of, in the most basic of senses, they are the away team for an exploratory, spell-jamming, mercantile empire in the making. So, they go down to different worlds, find cool stuff, report back, get cool toys. All is well. And honestly, it's going really well, and I'm very happy with that campaign. So, over the past month or so, one player in particular, and the rest of the players to an extent, has been really chanting Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club, Fight Club. Just, you doesn't like that. He really wanted to get in some arena-style combat, and that's fine. That's great. Honestly, as a DM, arena-style combat is, I won't say my favorite, because it's not, but it definitely opens up a lot of opportunities. You don't want your characters to just immediately just smash through the enemy, because that's boring. They aren't trying to win as quickly as possible. They're trying to win as flashily, as spectacularly as possible. So, they sign themselves up for the beast fights as well as for the different actual humanoid opponents that one would normally expect. Now, this is a third, halfway through the session. They've already done a fair bit of, political not RPG, but role-playing and, talking to the important officials, which will allow the actual story to progress. So now they're like, okay, time to kick back, do some combat. One other helpful part of the gladiatorial / arena / tournament, whatever vibe, is that it allows you to bring in things that aren't the norm. It really is an excellent time to bring out that random encounter table. Like, I personally do not use random encounter tables all that often. If the players are going to run into something, I've probably thought it over. It could be kind of spur of the moment, thinking it over, but I've probably thought it over at least a little bit. So, they enter into the fight. Okay? Now they have been given weapons. So they don't have their really nice magic weapons. That's another benefit of the arena. It's just, here you go. This is what you got. What you gonna do with it? So, yeah, they walk out and they start doing, the usual gladiatorial kind of, here we are, gonna entertain you thing. And the other gate opens, and I don't know exactly what they expected. Probably lions or tigers, the kinds of things that you would see in a historical beast fight. I used to remember what those gladiators were called, but I've forgotten now, and that's Roman, anyways. And this is largely Egyptian, which is kind of ahistorical, but then again, it's not actually Egypt, so I don't care. It's a helpful part of all that. Let's see here. So they go out. They've done their thing. The other gate opens, and out comes a dire tortoise. Dire tortoise. Let's see. This thing was like 20 feet long, 10, 15 feet wide, and weighed like several tons, I think. Let's see, I think I've got the source book still here, close to hand. Yes, so I'm pulling from Sandstorm. Very helpful when running Desert Adventures to have the Desert Adventure book. Let's see here. Dune Hag, Dry Lich, Cinder. Yes. So this is a smaller dire tortoise. It's only like 20 feet long. It could be up to 30 pounds. And I think the one they fought weighed about 8,000 pounds out of a maximum of 12,000 pounds. And I'm going to try and show off the picture. There we go. Yeah, that thing's pretty gnarly. It's huge. It has like 170 hit points. And here are my characters without most of their, without their nicest weapons. Just kind of shit. And the fight goes reasonably well. The artificer monk ninja thing can get up top and just start whacking away, as can the halfling barbarian. The scout had a fair bit of difficulty, not going to lie. He used a lot of story points. Anyways, but he did well too. The cleric did well, made sure everybody stayed alive, which is very important when this thing just flat out trampled two of them in, I think, its first attack. And of course we just got a new caster. I think this was his first combat, I think. So he did pretty well. Used True Shot to snipe it in the eye help to blind it on one side. It's good. Overall, it was very, I shouldn't say well thought out, but there were some well thought out moments. The halfling decided that the shell was too hard on the outside, so why not attack it from the soft inside? Aha! And literally leapt into its mouth. I never thought I would have to Google whether or not tortoises have, what is it, uvulas, I think? Am I completely forgetting? The little, your gag reflex. That thing. They don't, apparently. Fun fact. So there's something you know now. They also don't have kneecaps, which extremely frustrated my halfling, as she collects kneecaps and was really hoping to get some massive ass kneecaps. We learned that frogs, is it frogs or toads? I think both, maybe, have them, but not tortoises. So there's that. She managed to not get swallowed, mind you. She just is, like, in there with a javelin stabbing at the soft palate and, like, trying to not get swallowed. Making a strength check, like, every round, I think. But that was at the very tail end of the fight anyways, so it served as an excellent climax for the is everything going on right with stream? Okay, yeah. It serves as an excellent climax to the fight from the audience's perspective, because, you know, the halfling just got eaten, oh shit, oh my god. And then at the end, she just kind of rolls out of its mouth. And, you know, crowd goes wild, because, fuck yeah, that's so cool. How often do you get to see that? So it was a good, encounter. The players got, you know, a nice bit of XP, a good chunk of cash, and a dire tortoise carcass, with the added benefit of the purveyors will chop up the meat for them. Fascinating. So now they've got, like, a 20-foot long, 10-plus-foot high little hut made out of shell, and I look forward to seeing what they do with that. So there's the tortoise. Now, we'll skip ahead to, or maybe skip backwards? I guess it would be skip back, to last Sunday, in the evening specifically, where my friend is running a now a two-shot, because we didn't finish, of a Star Wars RPG, mainly for, it's like a total conversion mod for 5th edition D&D. Yeah, whatever. Now, because it's, you know, one or two shot, I was thinking, you know what, I want to do something that's kind of silly, just kind of fun. So I went with a Jedi Sentinel, which if memory serves is kind of like the middle ground between lightsaber and force powers. So it's the one that balances it out. Now, I will try, I'm going to try to pull up the picture of what I ended up with my race being. Oh, can I get... Kushaban? Yeah, so it's a Kushaban, mind you. Which doesn't sound extremely interesting until you realize that It's that. I'm so fucking cute. This thing is like, what, 2.5, 3 feet tall when it's on its hind legs. So, yeah, just imagine that first off with a lightsaber. Okay. Oh. And then, just. Sorry. I, because you have to talk in a kind of a bubbly not accent, but a mode of speech where I'm just happy and excited to see you. I've got a 20 of charisma. I'm a charmer. I just really want to chat with you. I'm gonna be your friend. And then that is after I have finished, murdering all those guys, and I've run up to you on all fours, and then hop down on my back feet. I'm so goddamn cute and cuddly. Goddamn. I'm hoping. I didn't think that there was that much latency on the stream, but I guess so. Because I keep flicking back and forth, and I'm just hoping that, this image is showing up because it hasn't yet on the stream. We'll find out. Anyways, so I'm this, I can't remember what they're called. Lagomorph? Lagomorphic? Something like that. Rabbit-like critter. He's got like a 13-foot vertical leap. Can clear like 40 feet horizontal. And that's without the force. That's just not using any powers. It's just him at this point. And I'm gonna give one really fascinating story from that combat, because we got like one combat in. Like, everybody was making characters, and then we got one combat in, and it was almost midnight already, so we had to call it. So, we're in basically a war zone in the Old Republic. Yeah, kind of think way back then. Okay. Sith troopers. Sith troopers are about. So there's a bunch of like light troopers, a couple heavy troopers, whatnot, marching down the street towards my allies. I have decided to climb up onto one of these buildings. I'm kind of getting a lay of the land. Unfortunately, there's an enemy sniper on the other building. Okay, now he's about 70 feet away, give or take. All right. Now that's not great because he's out of reach of like most of my shit, and I can't have that. So the enemy troops have come up to our building. Okay. My group is behind the building, waiting for them to, round the corner, and then they'll just kind of open fire. Because we've got a lot of, like, close range fighters, not a lot of snipers or long range, at least. Though I feel like, well, we had one player who was going to play as a sniper, but I don't know if she didn't play last week, and I don't know if she'll be able to join us, and that makes me sad, because I enjoy playing with everybody, at this point. So, there's a sniper. That's not good. He's gonna keep our guys pinned down and keep us from actually doing much if the enemy decides to retreat. So, once the enemies have moved past the road that separates these two buildings between me and the sniper, I decide, okay, here's how this is gonna go down. I run, I leap 40 feet between the distance of myself and the sniper. There is now 30 feet between me and sniper, which is just enough for force pull. I yank him off of the opposing roof, and he tumbles down. Now, mind you, I'm still falling this 30 feet also, but I'm prepared for that. There's a strong difference between being prepared to fall and being pushed. And boy, oh boy, did he land poorly. I think I critically succeeded my, tumble, jump, whatever check, acrobatics check, and basically took almost no damage from the fall. Because I'm a rabbit. So, that helped. It really, okay, good. Oh, hey, Teru. Sorry. I'm just going to say something in chat, because that'll be much faster. So yeah, I basically yoinked a dude off of this, the roof, basically. And, you know, the combat proceeded as you would expect. The DM admitted that he kind of set up this encounter for more people. So it was kind of it could have been a much rougher. It could have gone a lot worse, basically, is what I'm saying. Well, we persevered. Another character using tech powers activated one of the grenades on a trooper's belt, and that was, well, it was a blast. That's for sure. Thermal detonators at close, roughly pelvis range. Ooh. Anyways, yeah, it was a good time. I'm looking forward to finishing it up tomorrow and hopefully continuing on, but we'll see. I think he may start being very busy reasonably soon, which is sad because, I mean, like, look at this. I want to keep playing this. It's freaking adorable. And because I get to talk as an excited, very not quite emotional because I'm still a Jedi, but I'm happy. I get to be this bully and wonderful figure, which is a nice change from another character that I play on Thursdays, who is stoic, kind of guarded. He doesn't quite trust anyone very well, but he does. Basically, he's protective and solemn. So this is just a wonderful it's a nice change of pace. So, there's that. Yeah, more importantly, that is the story of the Tortoise and the Hare. So it's a I had to, when I realized that I wanted to talk about these two D&D stories, I knew that I had just a wonderful name just already given to me. which is just fabulous. I couldn't have planned that better, I'll be entirely honest. Oh. Okay. Let's see. So it is 12:23 now. Been live for about 25 minutes, which is pretty good overall. Let's see. Again, this week, same as last week, I will be on Facebook here about 1-ish to stream Total War Rome, Rome 2, that is, because Rome 1 has not survived the test of time. That's very... It's a bit rough looking, let's say that much. But, anyways, it's it'll be a good time. I invite you all to come check it out, especially since I don't think, well, as far as I'm aware, nobody on here watches these who aren't my friends on Facebook anyways, so, come check it out. I will have a separate monitor set up just so that I can continue to interact with people while I play. And I really would like to get it so that, I have at least a few people watching and commenting, more importantly, and kind of roleplay this out as, I'm the one roughly in charge, but they're like the Senate. They are the people who are giving, if not direct commands, they are saying, like, we really need to deal with this Carthage place. That sounds like an excellent salt flat in the making. Oh. Oof. Sorry. Anyways, so that's largely what's been going on. I guess I'll really quickly talk about my Tuesday campaign. Because it's fun, for a variety of reasons, I should mention. But I have them now going into Undermount, which is a dungeon so large, it gets its own book. Like, this is actual hardbound book. Yeah. So, the first encounter that they get, which, mind you, this is not a high-level encounter. The campaign is for characters of levels 1 through 10. You are expected to go from level 1 to level 10 throughout the course of this book. Mind you, I'm not going to have my characters go nearly as far into it as this would assume, mainly because for each and every square foot that they travel, I need to represent that on Roll20. And that's a lot of rooms to make. Because I don't just use Roll20, I use Dungeon Painter Studio, so I can actually craft each individual room, each bit of hallway, whatever, and then download that as a PNG, upload that to Roll20, perfection. Done, done, done. It's a lot of work. Well, individually, it's not a huge amount of work. I probably did what they explored last Tuesday in under to about an hour. But it's a big-ass dungeon. I really don't want to keep putting up more and more and more and more. Eventually it just gets too big. So, I'll probably have them going through this for like a month. 4 sessions, maybe 5, depending on if this first session taught them a lesson. And that lesson was caution. So they enter a room. There are 4 exits to this room if you count the one they just entered from. So each one has stairs leading down into the main room. There are a bunch of columns in the room. Once you hit the bottom of the steps, you are in an anti-magic zone. It is dead magic. Yeah. Considering that, imagine also that at least, not even half, I think all but one of the party are a caster of some variety. Yeah, they were very uncomfortable, and none of them tried to do like a knowledge arcana check or anything similar. So they all knew that they were very uncomfortable, but couldn't really put their finger on it until the combat began. Now, in this room, there are 2 warnings scribbled onto the walls. Certain death this way, pointing to the south exit, and something like even worse death this way, pointing to the north. Mind you, the players had, or one of the players, more importantly, Thietmar, the rogue slash fighter. Hello. Yeah, it's okay. Had interviewed. He had interviewed a group of adventurers who had just survived and had rushed back out of Undermountain. Okay? So, in the tavern, they're like, you know, whatever you do, when you get to the room with all the pillars and the warnings scribbled on the walls, listen to the warnings. Now, Thietmar had not realized that this room with all the pillars and the warnings on the walls was in fact the one that the other adventurers had described. I don't know why, but that's what he said. I'd have my other hand up, except Mew has placed her arm on my wrist and both of her back paws just into my hand. So, oh yes, it's so cute. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so he decides to check out that southern exit, because why the fuck not, right? He gets to the top of the stairs when one of the columns on the north sides animates and charges him. I forget what it's called. It's Catiarid? Something like that. Basically, it's a giant female sculpture wielding a +2 bastard sword that came after him. Now this is like a 6th level encounter. They're 3rd levels. So they fight for a couple rounds. They're thinking, okay, cool, this is the first encounter. Neat. Well, they get like halfway through the first round, we'll say. And then their new war mage not war mage, wizard, conjuration specialist, actually, if memory serves, decides, well, maybe a little bit of flanking bonus will help, and tries to summon a creature, I think. I think that's what she was doing. And then that's when they realize, as that spell fizzles, they realize, oh no, we're in a dead magic zone. Two-thirds of the party are now not necessarily useless, but crippled, basically. Their ability to influence this fight has severely diminished. Now, granted, this Kentiarid column was not as powerful as the book would have you believe, nor as powerful as the monster manual would have you believe. I kind of nerfed it, just a little bit. Still, any enemy with an AC of something like 22 is going to give a bunch of third levels a hell of a time. Especially if they can't work together perfectly, and if they can't get a good shot on it. Because of course there's a shitload of columns. They have to move around a lot, actually, to get a good angle on this thing to shoot it. And and finally, they're like, okay, we can't actually kill this thing. We need to withdraw. So they start, withdrawing. And I actually fudged the dice a couple times. Or else, probably Thietmar and definitely Silver, the cleric, would have just gotten it. And I really didn't want to kill off these characters that quickly. So I may have fudged a couple attack rolls. That's the DM. Because I'm the DM, I can do that. The dice say what I want them to say in this regard. And because it really dealt so much damage that it would have taken 2 swings to kill any one of them. And it served its purpose. It scared the shit out of them. Now luckily, after a bit of private messaging to a bunch of them, as I say, retreating to the side passage, please, quickly. We finally get out of the main passage, and thusly they have retreated far enough away that the column decides, okay, I scared them off. It only has so far of a range that it is allowed to wander. So they're like, okay, threat neutralized, return. Walks back into the room, turns back into a column. And the party is left with at least half of their people wounded, and just, no, like a third of the party is wounded, and just wide-eyed, like, oh shit, what have we gotten ourselves into? So, that really is the, I want to say that's the perfect, not the perfect introduction, because, no, it really wasn't, but boy was it good in its own way, its own method for really introducing and kind of showing like, hey, this place is dangerous. You need to be able to think outside the box first and foremost, and also just as what's a good term? I'm trying to think here. Sorry. I know, I'm trying to think, which is a dangerous thing in and of itself. But basically, you can't just see each and every one of these as just run in, do the combat, keep going. You have to think about the combat. You have to prepare for the combat. You have to even just... You have to be able to make the call that, okay, this is too powerful for us. We have to fall back. Alright? And really, I like that. I don't feel like it should be the first combat, but it did its job. And ultimately, you know, that's the important part. So, I think that's about all I wanted to go over. So, thank you all for joining me. Until we meet again, dear friends, I've been Aramil, and I look forward to talking more nerdiness with you next week. So, until then, farewell.